Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope you had a great week. I hope you're having a great weekend. We woke up to snow today, so I am so excited about that. I'm like a child when it comes to snow. We don't get that much of it down south, so when we do get it, I celebrate it. I don't know what the weather is where you are or what it's like where you are, but here now the sun is shining, so the snow is melting, but it is so cold outside. So the sun is very deceiving, but it is quite cold outside. But anyway, I'm still enjoying this weather, the snow, and everything that goes along with that. Okay, so let's move on to today's show, shall we? All right, so the title of today's show is Clash of the Titans. Why do I keep wanting to say that? And the topic is great fiction writers. Those who've never heard or never studied Greek mythology, gods, or watched any movie version on cable, or never heard of the Titans altogether, allow me to enlighten you. The Titans were mythological deities that preceded the Olympians, the children of the primordial gods, just to give you a little bit more definition on that. So, and before you lose focus or are offended, I even mentioned such things, allow me to explain, okay? The Titans I reference, because I love studying Greek mythology. Let me rephrase that. I reference the Titans, okay? Is that better? Okay, I reference the Titans because I love studying Greek mythology and other religions. Plus, I'm a writer of fiction, and that makes me biased. Lastly, it ties into today's discussion. And if you want to know more about the Titans of Greek mythology, then you can go and Google it for yourself. So this is far as I'm taking that topic for today. But anyway, there have always been Titan level clashes of great heroes, athletes, and writers. Though the Titans I will speak of today aren't gods of any kind, they were still at the top of their A game when writing fiction. And it's why I wanted to celebrate a few of my favorite fictional writers. Let's start with Alice Walker, the author of The Color Purple. One of her most prolific works that people still quote scenes from her book to this day. Many other books came before and after The Color Purple, but for me, Alice became a titan and why she heads my list of great fiction writers. Next, Chloe Anthony Wofford. If you don't know who that is, let me just say it again. Chloe Anthony Wofford Morrison, better known as Toni Morrison, was a giant of giants for her complex fictional characters. Like Alice, Toni's Beloved not only topped the charts as a bestseller, but also became a movie. She won a Nobel Prize in Literature and Pulitzer Prize for the fiction that not only solidifies Toni as a titan, but explains why she's on my top 10 list too, okay? Let's move on to Sir Walter Mosley, who holds third place, not because he isn't worthy of the top 2 spots, but because on my list of top 10, third place was a good fit for him, okay? So Walter will always be remembered for his book, Devil in a Blue Dress. And if you've only seen the movie with Denzel Washington's portrayal of Ezekiel Easy Rollins, then you are missing out by not reading the book too. Walter created characters who embodied the Black experience in ways all people could understand. All right, so coming up next, Zora Neale Hurston. She takes the 4th spot on my list, but holds a soft place in my heart for Their Eyes Were Watching God. Her characters portrayed the racial struggles and epitomized what it was like to be Black in America during the early 1900s and shone a light on acceptance, a battle that continues today. Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun debuted on Broadway in 1959. I will never forget the unforgettable performance of Sidney Poitier as Walter Lee. Lorraine's understanding of black culture and its diversity is why she deserves to be on my list, all right? Now, let's move in a different direction, away from black fictional authors to more crossover fictional authors. Donna Galvadin also made my list for her Outlander series. Her knack for historical detail is superb, and I appreciate a side of sci-fi in all fictional stories. Now, moving on to Bernard Cornwell, who was an English historical fictional author, or who still may be. I don't know if he's passed on or not, and if I have if I have in some way insinuated that this man is dead, then I do apologize for that. But I didn't do my complete homework on if he is still alive or if he's passed on. But anyway, he was an English historical fiction author, and he also made the list because I'm a major The Last Kingdom fan. I've read the books, and I finished watching the last season on Netflix, and that was season 5. If you want to know which seasonal episode that was, it's season 5. Okay, but it did not disappoint. Let me tell you that. I was just sitting on the edge of my seat, shoulders hunched up to my ears, because it was just that good. It was just that suspenseful and exciting. I loved every single minute of it. And if you're a fan of medieval fiction, then I suggest you read the books first before watching the series. All right, so the next one is Deborah Harkness, the Discovery of Witches series of books. Delves deeply into the spiritual realm. If you love fantasy fiction, as I do, you will appreciate her talent for fictional creativity. Also, the television series, it ain't bad either. All right, so check both of those out. Alex Haley, all right, getting back to my black authors, will always be remembered for his book Roots. And who can forget Kunta Kinte, portrayed by Reading Rainbow's very own LeVar Burton in the television series, with a host of other well-known actors. Alex unabashedly told the story of slavery. Although the story and characters are fictional, they still hold an undeniable core of truth. All right, so John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath pairs perfectly with Clashing Titans. Another Pulitzer Prize awardee spoke of social inequities and unfair working conditions of migrant workers during the Great Depression, spilling over to the present day. It is a historical work of art, but still fictional, and I believe anyone who has ever read Steinbeck understands what it's like to be viewed as the underdog in a dog-eat-dog society. All right, James Baldwin is the very one. He's the last one on the list, all right? So James Baldwin, one of the greatest activists, poets, and novelists of our time, rounds out my top 10 list. James, If Beale Street Could Talk, was a fictional romance, but highlighted injustices and cruelty that many of color still identify with today. All right, so that is my top 10 list of titans, fiction writing titans. This compilation it's just a short list of my favorites, and it would just take too long to share them all with you. The list just goes on and on and on. And the thing of it is that it's comprised of past authors and authors that I'm currently reading, and most likely future authors as well. So my list grows and grows and grows. And in the top 10, it becomes the top 20. And goes. It maybe reach the top 100 one day. Who knows? But anyway, that's just how much I enjoy reading, and how it wasn't easy to pick out those top 10, but those are the ones that came to mind that really made an impression on me, and so I just wanted to share them. And I hope you will get a copy of all the titles that we talked about today. Read and share them. And I also hope that you will enjoy reading them as much as I did, and make your list of titans as well. All right, so that will end our show for today. But before I let you go, I want to make sure that I share with you these URLs so that way you can keep in touch with Book Chat and you can reach out to me. Of course, the first one is for Spreaker, and that is at https://www.spreaker.com/user/Arthur Vivian Moore. You can follow me across all social media. That includes Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And Instagram is by invitation only. You can also check out my website if you so desire. That is at ArthurVivianMoore.com and ArthurEHShepherd.com. Please check out my blog. That is at https://VivianEMoore.blogspot.com. And today's show, you will soon discover, is not live. It was recorded. So you can listen to this episode. And hopefully next week we will have a live broadcast. But today I did an earlier broadcast because, I have some things that I want to do, but I didn't want to miss out doing this show today. So that's why it is recorded, and at 6 o'clock it will play, all right, as if it was live. But anyway, you can listen to this podcast on Spreaker, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Castbox, Deezer. Those are two separate things, by the way. Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, JioSaven, iTunes, Audible.com, Verbal, and Luminary, as well as many other platforms, across the podcasting world, where you can find Book Chat and listen to it if you so desire. And not only listen to it, like it and share it. I would greatly appreciate that. It's because of all those downloads that the listeners downloaded. I'm so grateful that it keeps me motivated to do a show each and every week. And so just show the love by liking and sharing. All right. So tomorrow is worship day. Every day should be worship day. But, it's Sunday. So we do it in a corporate fashion on Sundays. And I hope that you are thinking about going to church, whether you're still doing it from the internet or you're actually going to a brick and mortar building. But just be mindful to invite others to listen to the sermons, to listen to the word, because that is so necessary, especially right now with everything that's going on. And if you want the things that are happening explained to you, then it's good to attend service somewhere so you can get those details and get a greater understanding of what all this means for us in this world. And also tell your friends and your neighbors so they can listen in as well, and their kids listen in too, because it's important that they know what's going on as well. They are people, and and they understand more than what you think. So that's why it's important to inform them, to let them know, so that way they can be aware too and not be so stressed out about it when they understand better what's happening. All right. So, and also, I never want to end the show without saying this. So, it's always to be mindful of those that we care about and to tell them how we feel about them, because we just never know. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, I love you. Thank you. And goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.